Okay, here we go. Live. Yes, we're live. Right there, pal. Right there. Got my new hat. I'm going to show what I uncovered these things. Okay, well, welcome to the stream, everybody. I have a new camera, a new streaming camera. Looks like it's working very, very well, more than the other one that I had. I had a tiny Logitech camera that I was using before, about this big. And this Kia is much better, much bigger, much better. Wider screen. Okay, well, today we got a lot to talk about. A lot of stuff has been going on this week. And we're going to start by talking about the new Russia hoax. Now, the old Russia hoax didn't work out, so they moved on to the new Russia hoax. Everything they tried to do to take this president out has failed. Okay, they tried the Steele dossier, they tried the Russian election collusion hoax, they tried the Ukraine hoax. Trump threatened the Ukrainian president to try to get him to start an investigation of Joe Biden by threatening to withhold military aid from Ukraine. And of course, that didn't happen. They just made all that up. That didn't work. They impeached him. He's impeached. He's forever impeached. Forever impeached. And nobody cares. Nobody cares he's impeached. People know it was fake. They don't care. So now they moved on to other things. I hope the pandemic would take him out. And he successfully navigated a CCP virus that was unleashed on the entire world. Then the economic shutdown, he's fixing that. So they were kind of passively hoping that he was in such trouble he would just collapse, and it didn't happen. Trump is still stronger than ever. He's still going. So now they've had another leak. Another intelligence person has leaked to the media in an attempt to damage Trump and make it look like Trump was okay. Well, let's back up a little bit. Remember, they tried, and I believe it was May. They tried to say Trump was briefed about the virus back in January, and he did nothing about it. He just ignored what he was told. And they tried to launch this new scandal. Nancy Pelosi made all this noise about how she was going to investigate Trump, because he knew, he was told about this virus back in January, and he didn't do anything about it. And so they were going to investigate. Okay, dead in the water. Nothing ever happened with that, Nobody cares. I mean, people know what really happened. They keep trying to create a new version of history. An alternative version of what happened from January to March, and too many people remember what happened. They remember, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and Joe Biden all saying Trump was a racist, that Trump shouldn't, the travel ban from China, that was xenophobia. He shouldn't have done that. It was a waste of time. It was unnecessary. They're running around saying all this stuff. And people remember. We remember what people were saying back in January and February. So the alternative history didn't take. So they just tried this back in May. He was told about the virus and he dropped the ball. He didn't do anything. 100,000 Americans are now dead. His fault. They didn't get anywhere with that. So here we are again. Here we are again. So I find some intelligence guy that was willing to leak something, an unverified rumor or a claim from a highly classified intelligence report. There were people out there investigating that. Don't get me wrong. They were looking to see if, hey, did this happen? Could be, but we don't have any evidence for this. They're out there looking for evidence, and it's being discussed at a very low level. a very low level of a very low intelligence level down the chain. Now, only stuff that gets passed up the chain to the level of the NSA, who handles national security matters for the president, and the NSC, the National Security Council, the people who brief the president and the vice president. For something to get up that high, it has to have some evidence. They have to have some proof. And nobody has any evidence for this. Everybody's on the same page. NSA Robert O'Brien saying this wasn't verified, it was never passed up. CIA Director Gina Haspel saying this was never verified, they never found any evidence for it, so it wasn't passed up. You have Secretary of Defense Esper saying not verified. They didn't make it up the chain. There was no evidence. So they're all saying the same thing. And Bolton, if you watch Bolton the last couple of days since they launched this new hoax, you've seen Bolton say, if this is true, this is very serious. Well, listen, he was the national security advisor when this was supposedly going down. Bolton was the national security advisor. He's the guy that does most of the briefings with the president about national security matters. And Bolton's saying, well, if this is true, if this happened, then this is very serious. And he said this in several different interviews in the last couple of days. Well, listen, if Bolton didn't know about it, how the hell is Trump supposed to know about it? How is Pence supposed to know about it? Bolton didn't know. Now, all the signs point to this being just another leak being done from a highly classified intelligence report where there was an investigation going on. They were trying to determine if it was true. They have no evidence yet that this happened. And somebody said, if I leak this to the New York Times, that could really cause a problem for Trump. I could claim Trump was briefed about this and he was told about this. He didn't do anything about it. He's trying to get Russia back into G7. He's being all buddy-buddy with Putin. And he was told months ago, that the Russians were paying the Taliban to kill our soldiers in Afghanistan. This is horrible. This is terrible. Well, listen, you don't need to pay the Taliban to try to kill Americans. They've been willing to do that for free for decades. How long have we been there? 18 years? I forget. Now the Taliban is sitting there with their thumb up their butt, not motivated to do anything. And some Russian guy shows up and says, I will pay you to kill Americans. And all of a sudden the Taliban are highly motivated. Wow, this guy's going to pay us to kill Americans. Yeah, sure, man. Okay, look, they've been killing Americans. They've been fighting our troops there for almost 2 decades now. You don't need to pay these guys to fight American forces in Afghanistan. This whole thing doesn't make any sense. And, even the Ukraine gate, the fake Ukraine hoax never made any sense. With the leak by Eric Ciamarella, however you say, claiming that Trump threatened the Ukrainian president. Now, you start an investigation of Joe Biden, or I'll withhold all this military aid. I will give it to you unless you start an investigation of Joe Biden. It was always, absurd. So, here they are again. It's the same playbook. That's the thing. They got nothing new. It's always the same thing. Anonymous sources leaking classified intelligence and spinning it into an attack on Trump. It's the same playbook over and over again. They did it with the Trump Russia election collusion hoax. They did it with the Ukraine hoax. Now they tried it with the Trump knew about the virus. Trump hoax. That was a hoax too. Just last May, he was told in January about it. They tried another hoax from a leak. That didn't go anywhere. So now they're back. Now they're going to try again. They don't have a very creative playbook. they weren't dealing with a bunch of geniuses here. Just got the one thing they do. Got to find somebody that can leak something and make the sky look bad. And so it's just a replay of the same tactics they've used before. And this time they're not getting anywhere. Almost immediately, every single person that would have been in the chain of command for passing this up the chain has said this never made it up to the president's level. So he was never briefed about it. And the New York Times is trying to spin it, CNN is trying to spin it, but this is not going anywhere. So, and the DOJ has now has now received the criminal referral. I'm kind of unsure who it was that did this. Was it the CIA? Was it the NSC? Who was it? But somebody, the way Catherine Harris is reporting this, and intelligence officials made a criminal referral to the Department of Justice to investigate this, find out who leaked this highly classified intelligence information that was part of an ongoing intelligence investigation. See, they were investigating this. And now the whole thing's just been blown up because somebody saw an opportunity to take a cheap shot at President Trump. And so Robert O'Brien came out there and said, this is a shame. Now we'll probably never know. An investigation was going on, but now we'll probably never know if this was actually happening or not. So they got no new tactics, they got no new techniques. It's always anonymous sources, it's always anonymous leakers taking classified stuff and putting it out there with the news media and spinning it in a way to try to damage Trump. And it never works. Trump is stronger than ever. He just eats everything they throw at him and he keeps coming. So that's the first topic for tonight. Second topic. I love this one. Mayor Durkin, getting red pilled. Okay. Mayor Jenny of Seattle, she has spent the last 2 weeks playing nice with the smelling radicals. After they were let into City Hall by this crazy councilwoman. I think her name is Sharma Sawant, something like that. Sharma Sawant. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. She sits on the city council, and she let all these protesters into City Hall, and that's what started the chase or the chop, whatever you want to call it. It started that thing 2 weeks ago. Over 2 weeks ago, and she said, "Oh, there's nothing going on here. This is just democracy at work. This is a summer of love. This is going to be great. This is democracy in action. They're just expressing themselves. It's all peaceful and everything." And so for 2 weeks, I've watched a lot of conservative people on our saying, "Damn it, Trump needs to send the tanks in there. Trump's got to send the military." All you have to do is wait these lunatics out. Did you see the story that the second day there, they let a bunch of homeless people into the shop, and the homeless people stole all the food? So the people that were running the shop went on to social media and started asking for food donations because all the homeless people that had been inside the shop had stolen all the food left with it. And they had nothing to eat. So for 2 weeks, this thing drags on, and people are saying, "Oh, Trump has got to do something." No. All you have to do is wait these lunatics out. Sooner or later, they're gonna overreach. They're gonna make a mistake, and it happened yesterday, very early yesterday, in the middle of the night. This same crazy councilwoman, Sharma Sawant, decides that she's going to take a large group of these protesters. Basically, it's a mob. It's a mob of radical Marxist, revolutionaries, radicals, all wearing masks and dressed in black. You can see in the pictures. We're going to take a large group of these people, and they're going to go to Jenny Durkin's house, and we're going to demand that she resign, because she hasn't given them everything that they wanted. She tried to make all kinds of accommodations to these people. For 2 weeks, she tried to, play nice with them. And what's her reward? The same reward radical Marxist revolutionaries give to anybody who enables them. She gets attacked. They bring us. The Sawant, the council, brings this whole mob. They surround her house. And Mary Duncan let it be known she was not happy about this. You look out the window and see a bunch of masked thugs running through the air. I had a little fun on Twitter with this. I did a little Ghostbusters. Who you gonna call? Look here. Who you gonna call? Social workers. Social workers. I ain't afraid of no mob. I ain't afraid of no mob. Okay, so Mary Jane lets it be known she's not happy that her house is now surrounded by a mob of radical Marxists. He's trying to be nice to these people. This is how they pay her back. They come around and they demand she resign because she wasn't being as nice as she was being. Apparently, she was not being nice enough. And she now needs to be replaced. They demanded she resign. Well, I'm sure Mayor Jenny took the demands of the mob outside her house into consideration, and she sat down and she wrote a letter to the rest of the city council and said, we've got to get rid of this chick. She's nuts. She showed up at my house, And she's like, there's nothing more beautiful than watching a brain dead leftist. Suddenly their brain clicks on. Click, and they wake up. They're like, and they wake up and they're like, holy crap, I've been playing with fire. These people are lunatics. And it's like Mayor Jennings, in the last 48 hours, suddenly she got woke, she got really woke. When she looks out the window and sees all these goons, masked goons out there milling around her house. She suddenly swallows the red pill and she wakes up. We're living in a dream world, where it's all just peace, it's the summer of love, and everything's fine, and Trump is just a big old meanie, and this is the summer of love, and don't be scared of democracy, and oh my God, there's a bunch of masked people outside my window, and all of a sudden she wakes up. Perfect, Mary Jane, keep going. So not even 24 hours later, she's demanded that they kicked her off the city council, and she sends the cops in there. I saw the video this morning. It was fantastic. The cops finally get to go in there and break up the chop. The chop got the chop. Okay, and it was beautiful. Watching all those guys. Hey, wait, they're actually making us move. This isn't fair. I got my cat right here. Been living here for 2 weeks. I thought this was the start of something beautiful. And there's trash piled up waist high. And I saw some of the pictures after they cleaned these people out. It was really disgusting. It was, you remember Occupy Wall Street? Some of the real shitholes they left behind themselves when Occupy Wall Street was finally cleaned out of those camps. This is the same people, basically. The same stuff. The trash is just everywhere. There's no bathrooms out there. What do you think they're doing with their poop and their urine? It's like I would not want to be in charge of trying to clean that up. But anyway, the CHOP in Seattle is no more. So of course they started a new autonomous zone in New York City, and that's where all the action is. That's where all the fun is right now. It's in New York City, where Mayor Bill de Blasio just helped lead the city council, helped facilitate the city council cutting the budget for the New York Police Department by $1 billion. $1 billion. I mean, my God. What is it about the brain damage that's done with a woke person? Is right in the middle of a massive crime wave. New York City's in the middle of a massive crime wave right now. Your hot take about how you're going to deal with a massive crime wave where hundreds of people have been shot in New York City in the last 5 or 6 weeks since this thing started. Your hot take is that I need to cut the police budget by $1 billion. That's your hot take. Yeah. Violent crime has just exploded since May, since late May. The whole month of June went up like a volcano blowing its top. And Bill the communist and his big hot take is, yeah, I cut the police budget by $1 billion. That'll fix it. Uh, I'm telling you, man, we have to see there's an awakening going on in this country. We need to really push it, an awakening, because not everybody that lives in New York State and not everybody that lives in New York City is a rabid, commie, flag waving lunatic. The, the sad fact of the matter is, if you study the voting statistics, you know this, you probably have less than 10% of the population of New York City voting in the primaries. And remember, the primaries is where the candidates who are going to be on the ballot in November, the primaries, which are done months earlier, that's where the candidates are decided on. And what happens is when you have like over 95 or 96% of the population isn't getting involved in the political elections, they don't vote in the primaries, you don't need a very large group of radicals to seize control of that process. You only need about 4 or 5% of the vote to make sure that your radical Marxist candidates are the ones that make it onto the ballot. And this is how you end up with Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, as we popularly known, AOC. This is how you end up with a dingbat like that in Congress. This is how you end up with an Ayanna Pressley. This is how you end up with an Ilhan Omar, because only 5 or 6% of the voting population is being active in the primaries, and so people who I call them ideological lunatics. The ideological lunatics are easily able to get onto the ballot in November, and that's how they win these elections, and that's how somebody like Bill de Blasio gets elected. That's how somebody like Jenny Durkin gets elected. That's how somebody like Kashama Solant makes it onto a city council, because 95, 96% of the people that live in that city are engaged, aren't paying attention. And then a pandemic hits, and everything goes to hell. Rioting starts, and I haven't watched these people that are in office, that are in positions of power, that are deciding whether or not you can open up your business, whether or not you can go to church, whether or not you can even leave your house. And they're crazy. These people are freaking crazy. How did this happen? Well, radicals took over. Sorry, folks. 95, 96% of you weren't paying attention. 95, 96% of you weren't engaged. You weren't paying attention during the primaries. And I think maybe a larger percentage of the eligible voters, say 25, 35%, are engaging in the general election in November. But all they have left to do then is just choose between the candidates the radicals put on the ballot. When you always vote Democrat, in a deep blue state, you're not about to vote Republican. When you're going to vote for Democrats, well, the 4 or 5% months ago, back in the primaries, the radicals already seized control of it and made sure their person was on the ballot in the Democratic slot. And that's how you end up with AOC getting into Congress. That's how you end up with Presley and Omar and Tlaib, all the squad. I mean, it's like I really think somebody is like Thomas Richter called them Judas goats. There used to be somebody that would keep the crazies from rising up. there was somebody that would come in there and sit the people down and pat them on the knee and say, it's not happening, okay? Something happened. Those people are gone now. Or they're working for the other side because now absolutely freaking crazy people were allowed to rise. And it was a perfect um, synchronization of the planets, a perfect alignment of the planets or something. You have people like Swalwell, you have people like Lou, you have people like Schiff, and the freshman Democrats in 2018. And people could look at this and see the policy ideas they're putting forward, the Green New Deal on boys competing in women's sports, uh, full health care for illegals. And then look at all this stuff. These people are crazy. How did this happen? Well, radicals took over, or they were allowed to take over, because 90% or more of the population out there wasn't engaged, they weren't paying attention, and this is what happened. And then a pandemic came in, a virus got in here, and some bad things happened, and we had to the economy got shut down, and now the all these petty tyrants who revealed themselves, and people in these blue states who were saying they're not crazy, they're looking around like, how the hell did this happen? I can't open my business, I can't go to church, I can't leave my house, I have to wear a mask. What the hell is going on? And I don't want to rub their faces at it. I don't want to be mad at these people. We need them on our side, But there's an awakening happening, and they're waking up to the fact that they dropped the ball. They weren't paying attention, and some really stupid, radical, crazy people got in there, and the wrong people got elected into public office, and they're running your city, and they're running your state, and the only thing you can do about it is either leave that state or start voting and getting engaged. So I think what we're going to see this November is a great awakening. The 90% of the business owners and the same people out there that have their families and their churches, and they're realizing that if the wrong person wins an election, it does matter. It affects my life. Maybe I didn't think it affected me, and I don't pay attention to all that politics, political stuff, and I don't get involved in that. Well, they've discovered the hard way that you don't get to opt out of this. It's part of the duty of being a citizen. That the wrong people get in that office, what you end up with is a de Blasio, basically saying what he's been doing for weeks now. No, I'm going to stand down the police. I'm going to cut their budget. I'm not going to send in the National Guard. I'm going to turn and point at Trump and say, my God, look what you're doing to my city. A lunatic. That's what he's been doing. He's going to stand down the police, won't send in the guard. It's Trump's fault. Goddamn Trump. Most people didn't vote. That's how he got in there. And so the only thing that's going to fix it is everyone getting engaged. The tiny number of radicals that used to have this primary system and all to themselves to set it up the way they like it, they need to start getting a message from the other 90%. You've screwed everything up. Get out of the way. We're taking over. That is what needs to happen. So Mary Jenny getting a red pill, that was an exciting development this week. And 2 days from now, President Donald J. Trump is supposed to be at Mount Rushmore. And it's going to be a fireworks display for the first time since 2008. The big Mount Rushmore fireworks display. It used to happen every year. And Obama won the election in 2008, and he took power in January 2009. And one of the first things Obama did in that very first year was he stopped the fireworks show. So we're not going to have the fireworks at Mount Rushmore anymore. There's no reason for that. It's environmentally dangerous. Well, there's things you can do to keep a fire from breaking out. You can have a controlled burn. There's things you can do. We thought, no, we'll stop all that. No more fireworks display. Yeah, I think it's an act of genius, Trump's game plan to stop. I'm going to wait until I'm running for re-election in July of 2020, and I'm going to go to Mount Rushmore. I'm going to be there, and we're going to have the fireworks show again. He was talking about this back in January. It was a CNN report I linked on my Twitter earlier tonight. Back in January, he said we're going to have a big 4th of July celebration at Mount Rushmore this year, and we're going to start the fireworks show back up. I'm going to try to be there for that. And he was saying this back in January, so it shouldn't be a surprise. But when he announced it the other day, yesterday he will be there on July 3rd, what the Democrats immediately, somebody that was running the Democrats' official Twitter account, immediately took a cheap shot at him, saying that Mount Rushmore is associated with white supremacy. Mount Rushmore is a monument to white supremacy. So, of course, and some sane person, after that tweet had been up for a while, some same person posted and said, "My God, where's the God? Delete that! Delete!" And he deleted it. But it's too late. It was already out there. It's screenshot. The internet's forever. So yeah, they had to take a cheap shot at Trump for going to Mount Rushmore. See, right when they're in the middle of dragging down all these statues, the mob was doing it. Wait, notice this. The mob and the anarchists were doing this at first. They were going out and dragging down these statues and pulling them down and defacing and vandalizing them. Now the Democrats and the craven Republicans have taken over from that. Yes, sir. We'll remove this Teddy Roosevelt statue from the front of this building. We'll remove this Stonewall Jackson statue. See, now the Democrats are doing it, not the mob. Democrats saying, yes, we're going to get rid of these statues. So it starts off with mob action. It's just a tiny Marxist mob running around attacking these statues. But now it's the popular thing to do. Democratic politicians in City Hall, city that's being voted on in City Hall, and now they're saying, okay, we're going to get rid of these Confederate statues and these statues of Lincoln. And so now it's become, it's not a mob anymore. Okay? But here's what Trump is doing. Trump is going right to Mount Rushmore. Just as they're making the transition from the mobs doing this to the Democratic mayors and City Hall and city councils and people like that going out and saying, yes, we're going to take these statues down. Here's Trump going to Mount Rushmore. Who's on Mount Rushmore? Well, you have George Washington, you have Thomas Jefferson, and you have Abraham Lincoln, and you have Teddy Roosevelt. Two of these presidents were slave owners. One of these presidents signed the Emancipation Proclamation. One of these presidents was known as a very good friend of the Indian tribes. Teddy Roosevelt was a great humanitarian. He got along with everybody. I mean, you ever read about this guy? He had an amazing career. Most people just read about the early part of his life, when he was on the Rough Riders in Cuba and all that stuff. But there's a reason Teddy Roosevelt is up there on Mount Rushmore. And so they're bringing up, the Democrats are trying to bring, it's racist. We took that land away from the Indians. It's really a Lakota land. And we should not have put those faces up there. We shouldn't have carved those faces. This is terrible. This is horrible. And Trump's affirming this. Trump's going there, and he's this is the celebration of the wrong kind of America for Trump to go there and set off fireworks and act like George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, and Theodore Roosevelt are people we should be celebrating. We should be embarrassed by these people. They were all white supremacists and racists. And this is the great thing about this. Right when they're in the middle of all this attacking these statues, trying to tear up America's founding and replace it with Marxism and socialism and American the new founding, they scream about racism, of course. While they're tearing these statues down, they scream racism. But they're not really attacking racism. There wasn't any real much racism to attack. They're attacking our constitutional republic. They want to trade a constitutional republic for something else. That's what they're really attacking. So they're screaming racism while they're doing all this, but it's not really about racism. Okay. And so right when they're in the middle of doing all this, Trump's going to Mount Rushmore. See, this is the guy that understands optics. Trump understands optics. And he wants to be seen at Mount Rushmore having a big rally, being a leader and a defender of the real American founding, which is spectacular. America is a great country. It was founded on fantastic principles. It wasn't perfect, but it is the best the world has ever seen. And Trump is going to defend that in 2 days. You see him there on July 3rd. That's what he's going to be doing. And when the left, when all these Marxists out there and all these radicals see him there, when they see what he's defending, it's going to drive them nuts. They're probably going to be reduced to a mouth foaming rage to watch Trump defending the American founding, because this is what they want to rip out. This is what they want to replace. They have to deculturalize. That's what he said. To destroy American culture, you have to destroy the foundations of American culture. And that's what this is all about. Bringing down the statue, saying you should be ashamed of your history. You should be ashamed of being American. Look how this country was founded. Look what it was founded on: racism, slavery. Terrible, horrible. There was the one country in this world that didn't have slavery in it. You know that? There was the one country in this world that didn't have it. Where most of the African slaves went. You think they came to America? The percentage of African slaves that came to America from the number of Africans that were taken from Africa was about 2.5%. Most of them went to Portugal. A lot of them went to South America. Some of them went to the Caribbean. They didn't come here. Only about 2.5% came here. That many people in Portugal and Italy and Spain and Brazil and all these other places that have to be, constantly beating their breath and talking about how evil they are. Yes, America had slavery, but we were one of the first countries to get rid of it. And it was Christianity, and it was abolitionists there, many of them were Christians. Here in the United Kingdom, William Wilberforce, they were the people that got rid of slavery. But it wasn't a perfect country at the beginning. And so this is what they do. They try to eliminate all the good and just focus on the little bit that was really bad, and they stretch it. And they stretch it so it crowds out everything else. And they say the whole founding of America was awful, and it's time to replace it with something better. And this is the absolute lunacy of this. We're supposed to take a system, our constitutional democratic system, created by George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Patrick Henry, Benjamin Franklin, all of these great men. We're supposed to take what they founded and toss it aside so it can be replaced by something better that will be given to us by a bunch of mass goons that are burning down buildings, looting stores, tearing down statues, and beating people up on the streets, attacking cops, because they're going to be the new founding fathers. Well, kiss my ass. You can't found a goddamn thing. These these people can't found anything. They can't create anything. All they can do is destroy. Okay, so this is the ludicrous situation we're in. We take everything that was created by the founding fathers and we toss it aside to a bunch of math Marxist goons who don't even know American history are going to give us something better. Well, no, thank you. They're going to stick with what made this the greatest country in the history of the world. We're going to stick with it. And this is why, like General Flynn said in his op-ed at the Western Journal the other day, this is just about 2%, probably not even that, 2% of the population running around making all this noise, saying, give us what we want. Tear out this old foundation, the foundation the founding fathers gave this country. Tear it out and let us replace it with what we want. 2%. And all they're doing is they're waking up the other 98%. Now, I think at the end of this, they're going to get squashed. So this is where we're at right now. So Trump is going to rally all real Americans to turn back this Marxist threat. And he's going to do it with Washington and Jefferson and Lincoln and Teddy Roosevelt looking down on him from the mountain behind. That's going to be fantastic optics. I hope that's how they set it up. If I was in charge of setting this up, that's how I'd do it. I'd have Trump give a rally speech with the mountain right in the background, because you can't get better optics than that. Okay, let's move on to our fourth topic for tonight: record gun sales in June. It's my favorite. Okay, Bill de Blasio and Tim Walz and Jenny Durkin, and all these, Lori Lightfoot and all these crazy ideological lunatics out there that dealt with the nationwide rioting by standing their police force down, giving the rioters space to the store, and refusing to call in the National Guard. They spent weeks demonstrating to their own citizens, you are on your own. The police aren't coming. Oh my God, help, help, hello, the looters are coming from my business. Help, come help me. I'm sorry, we've been told to give the mob space to the store. Click. I mean, isn't that what happened? They're told, where are the cops? Where are the cops? They watched mobs run amok in their city for days. Oh, a week and a half, 2 weeks, every night. And the cops were told to stay out of the way, and the National Guard wasn't standing. And I look at the leaders that in their city and in their state for help. And what are those leaders doing? They're all screaming at Donald Trump. This is your fault. Look what's happening in my city. You did this. So you know what a lot of the same people in these deep blue states that have woken up now realize that, oh my God, I'm on my own. My family, we're on our own. The cops aren't going to come help us. I don't have a gun. Well, I'm going to go clean out my bank account. I'm going to buy me a rifle. I'm going to buy me an AR-15. I'm going to buy me 2 handguns. See, this is what happens. It's a brutal awakening. Like I said, if I was a prick, if I was a jerk, I'd be rubbing people's face on it. Ha ha! You deserve this. You weren't paying attention, and you let these lunatics get in charge, and now you're suffering. I can make fun of them. Now, but I don't really want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to reach these people. Yes, okay. You're in a bad situation, okay? But it can be fixed. You can fix it. You can start fixing it now. And we want to help you. We want to help you fix it. You need new leadership in your city. You need new leadership in your state, okay? And so a lot of these people living in these deeply cities, watching these mobs run through there, beating up business owners, burning down stores, looting left and right. And the people who were in charge that were supposed to stop all this, not only were not stopping it, they were encouraging it. Okay, so a lot of people realize that they and their families and their businesses, we are literally on our own. And they may have paid little or no attention to the gun control debate, to the Second Amendment debate. They probably didn't see any need for any private citizen to own an AR-15 until now. Now they do. Now they see pretty clearly why a citizen needs an AR-15. And so you can find this online. Gun sales exploded in this country in the month of June. And it's not hard to figure out why. They exploded because people realized the truth. Me and people like Dana Loesch and other Second Amendment advocates have been trying to educate people for years about this. The fact that the cops really have no duty to protect you. A lot of people don't know this. The cops have no duty to protect the individual citizen. That is settled case law. There's no gray area here. If you're in trouble and you see a mob heading for your business and a cop car goes by and you try to flag down the cop, say, hey, come in here and save my business from this mob. But they've been called elsewhere. See, and they say, well, we have no duty to protect the individual citizen or the individual store. So they drive on, and you're literally on your own. Everybody remembers the rooftop Koreans from the LA riots. A lot of those other stores in that area got looted and destroyed, but not the ones where the people with rifles were on the roofs. Here we are again, people learning a better lesson. The cops are not there to protect your store. They're not there to protect you. And if you have bad leadership in your town, you have somebody that's crazy, like Jenny Durkin, or that lady or the mayor in Minneapolis, or they're actually going to pull the police out of their precinct and let the mob burn it down and take it over. And the sight of that, all the same people out there watching cops pull out of their own precinct and a mob go in there and burn it and seize control of it. Cops are not coming to save you. They're not. It's up to you. Maybe you didn't know that. Maybe a lot of people didn't know that, but they do now. Cops are not coming to save you. It's up to you, and you better be prepared. You better have the tools you need. You better be trained to use those tools. And so that's why, the gun debate is over. I've been saying this on Twitter for a while now. Hey, lefties, the debate over the Second Amendment, whether an American citizen needs an AR-15, that debate's over. You lost it. You've lost it. And you can blame all these Democratic mayors and governors for that. They graphically proved to people that the police are not coming to save them. In the event of a crisis, of a riot, of a mob, looting and burning of their stores and their businesses, the cops are not going to come stop it. So it's a tough lesson, It's been a rough 6 months for a lot of people in this country. But I think that a lot of people are wiser now and they understand their situation now. And Americans are practical people and they're taking steps to deal with it. So gun sales are going through the roof. Now let's talk about Joe Biden. Biden. Joe Biden came out for his first press conference. I think what was it, 82 days, 89, I forgot how many it was. I know it was over 80. He came out for his first press conference, and it's tightly scripted. He has the notes in front of him. He's reading off the teleprompter, and he's calling. He knows he has to call on the reporters, call on the reporters in a certain order. That's how tightly scripted it was. And to me, the biggest revelation of that press conference was when Biden told the reporters that he had no plans to hold any rally. You know how traditional presidential campaigns is done. You know, you go to state, and you hold rallies in the state, and people come out and they listen to the candidate give a speech. And it's great for the fundraising. He goes up there and he meets people and he presses the flesh and he says, "So I'm going to have to skip that part, you know, because of COVID." But rallies are an integral part of a presidential campaign. And Biden's coming out saying, "I'm not going to hold any rallies." I think he just said the reason he's not holding any rallies is doctor's orders. I don't understand if he's saying the doctor told him he can't travel around a lot and hold a bunch of rallies. If he was told as part of the COVID virus precautions not to hold any rallies. He just said doctor's orders. I'm not going to be holding any rallies because of doctor's orders. You see, there are a lot of songs here, and it's just as the subject of my latest column, my latest column that I submitted to EPUB. I haven't published it yet. They're reviewing it, they're editing it. Okay, but this is the subject of my latest column. Biden is not really running for president. What he seems to be doing is he's running a bare bones campaign. There's no real fundraising going on, and he's been standing in the basement. He hasn't been planning any rallies, and it came right out yesterday and said that he hasn't been planning it, and he's not going to be holding any rallies. And just 2 or 3 days before that, the Democratic Party had announced they won't be holding a real DNC in Milwaukee. They're going to hold a virtual convention. It won't be a convention like the GOP is going to have in Jacksonville, where thousands and thousands of people go to a convention center and they meet and they listen to speeches. Of course, there'll have to be some accommodations for COVID, I'm sure. But they plan on holding a real rally. As a matter of fact, Trump moved the RNC from North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, to Jacksonville, Florida, because Carolina Governor Roy Cooper would not commit to letting the RNC hold a real convention. He wouldn't give them enough information about it. He kept trying to put it off and giving them an answer. So finally, Trump just moved it to Jacksonville. So Trump plans on holding real rallies, and he plans on holding a real convention. Meanwhile, Biden is saying there will be no rallies, and we're going to hold a virtual convention. All the delegates will stay home, and they'll just they'll just do it virtually over the internet. I'm watching all this, and I followed presidential politics since 1988. I think 1988, that was the one where George H.W. Bush beat Michael Dukakis. That was the first election I really paid attention to. I actually did a little bit of campaigning for Bush in Minnesota when I was in college, because I was in a Christian college. I was pro-life. And I did not like the caucus. The caucus was extremely pro-abortion. And that was the first one I paid attention to, reading all the articles and following it in the news. And it is unheard of that somebody trying to win a presidential campaign, they still haven't filled out their staff in the battleground states in June of that year. You may have seen some news stories. The Biden campaign just last week finally started hiring people top staff members in the battleground states, Wisconsin, Florida, Michigan, battleground states like that. They Biden hasn't hired anybody yet. He hadn't hired anybody. Uh, that's mind-boggling. Uh, if you're running a national campaign, uh, the battleground states are crucial. For somebody to wait until late June of the election year and something go, oh yeah, we need to finish hiring our campaign teams for the battleground states. We still don't have top staff for a lot of these teams, and it's June, of the election year. That's astonishing. Trump had fully staffed, equipped, and funded and trained uh, campaign teams in these battleground states over 2 years ago. But Pascal says he never stopped working. As soon as Trump won in 2016, Pascal was already on to the next election. So already working hard. So, why do you think you're seeing Trump set primary voting records in state after state? Even though he's running unopposed, people don't even need to go vote for him. Why was he setting all these primary voting records? It's voter enthusiasm. It's these campaign teams in these states working hard. They're already fully assembled, fully trained, fully equipped. And this just happened. Breitbart just put this up a couple minutes ago. Trump and the RNC had a record fundraising second quarter. They raised $266 million in the second quarter. That is a new record. So Trump has fully trained teams. He's setting fundraising records. He's setting primary voting records, and he's starting to hold rallies again. And I know people argue about that last rally in Tulsa. It didn't come out like they planned it, and there was some active sabotage. There were demonstrators outside. There were things that happened that were beyond their control. And so they're trying to make that thing was a disaster. Oh, keep watching. I mean, come on. You'll see this in South Dakota, and the Trump will hold more rallies. So get better at it. Okay, but the idea is somehow Trump's in trouble. I see a lot of people who should know better. Looking at these national media polls, now you give Biden 8, 10, 12, 15-point leads. Okay, none of these national media polls mean anything. Biden hasn't really hit the trail yet, and now he says he's really not going to. Trump will be out there holding rallies. He'll be out there raising funds. He'll be out there traveling the country, setting forth his program. Biden doing all of this, he's going to be sitting in the basement and having, I guess, a virtual campaign. I guess you could call it the Max Headroom presidential campaign, And he's going to try to do it all from his basement. And the polls will tell you this guy is ahead. He's winning, okay? That's all a con, okay? Joe Biden is a colorless, that's the best way to describe this. Okay, look, the idea that Joe Biden is going to be some type of reformer, he's going to go in there and change that Washington system. He's been in D.C. since 1972. He first won a Senate race for the Delaware for a Senate seat in 1972. I was 8 years old back then. So he's been in Washington all the time. He's no reformer. He's as swamp as you can get. He's as Washington insider as you can get. That's about 48 years. 48 years he's been in Washington. And it's comical that the Democratic Party, the Democratic Party says, you have to take this seriously. Don't you laugh, damn it. Don't you laugh. Joe Biden is the man that's going to fix it. Don't you laugh. Okay. Biden ain't going to fix crap. We got 8 years of Obama and Biden in the White House. And that's another thing. Biden actually had to try to say he doesn't really can't come out explicitly say it. I'm Obama's third time. Don't you want to return to Obama? Wouldn't you like to go back to the Obama years? I mean, basically, what he has is just like, yeah, we totally messed everything. Obama totally messed everything up, but I'll be better. I'll be a better president than Obama was. Give me a shot. He can't really come out and say that. So it's the weird, the weird thing that we're at. The Democratic Party is taking this backbencher who never really did anything. He had previous runs for president, all created when he was caught lying and plagiarizing, and they're putting him forth as the guy who's gonna fix it. The guy who's gonna take us back to normalcy. Trump is this crazy wild guy. He's messing everything up. Let's go back to the Obama years. Let's put Biden in there to fix it. Biden never fixed anything in his life. He's a DC lifer. He's a DC insider as you can get. Guy, and we know this guy spent almost 50 years selling his offices, making bank on selling influence and taking bribes. Okay, I think a lot of this Ukraine gate stuff, the stuff that he and Hunter Biden and other Democrats were doing in Ukraine, that nothing stopped that. So Rudy and all these other guys at the DOJ that's still working on this are expected to drop before the election. But it's comical that the Democratic Party is in a position right now where they're pushing Biden out there as the answer. And he's not really going to campaign. They'll come up with some excuse why he can't debate Trump. The fundraising, you never hear them mention the fundraising because I'm sure it's abysmal. The fundraising for the Democrats is awful. Meanwhile, Trump is setting records but you have people, all they do is look at the polls. Biden's so far, Trump's blowing this. He's blowing it. He's so far behind these polls. All these stories that came out in the last week. Trump's thinking about resigning. Oh, he's so depressed. He's so far behind in the polls. Trump is so depressed, he's thinking about quitting. You know how dumb people can possibly be. There's a lot of people out there that are desperate to believe this. They really want to believe that Trump is depressed. And you see he's so far behind in the polls, he wants to quit. A record $266 million in the second quarter. Look, I'm telling you, there's a red wave coming like nothing this country has ever seen. Trump has two superpowers. The first superpower is to convince Democrats who have been abandoned and disenfranchised and who are disillusioned. He makes a pitch to them: cross over and vote for me. Okay, that's how he won in 2016. He did it once, he can do it again. He's gonna do it again. That's his first superpower. The fact that he can convince Democrats to cross over and vote for him. The second superpower that Trump has, and you're gonna see this when he goes to Mount Rushmore. He gets these Marxist lunatics to drop their mask and say what they really believe. He gets them to expose themselves. He's going to show up in front of Mount Rushmore. And when he does that, you're going to see Democrats talk about how evil George Washington was, how evil Thomas Jefferson was. They're going to scream how evil Lincoln was and how bad Teddy Roosevelt was. They're not going to be able to help themselves. This whole country was founded wrong. It was founded on racism. It was founded on slavery. And it's time to just scrap it all and start over. And me, Mr. Mask Gunner, who just bought a police car, I'm the one that's going to fix everything that's wrong in this country. And these lunatics actually believe this. So they just gave Trump a huge opening, and he's gonna take full advantage of it. Right here and right there in South Dakota, 2 days from now. Make sure you watch that. You know, they can't get to Trump. Trump was a billionaire. He didn't run to make money. And as a matter of fact, being president cost him money. And one reason he is the greatest president this country has ever had is the lobbyists can't get to him. There's no amount of money or power or influence they can offer him to get their hooks in them. There's nothing they can do. He's a billionaire. What are you going to do? Offer him money? He's already got all the money he needs. What are you going to offer him? Power, influence? Listen, he got elected president of the United States without any favors from these people. They were all backing the witch. They were all backing every single living president. All of academia, all of Hollywood, all the political establishment, they were all going for Clinton, the witch. He didn't need them to win. He didn't need him to win in 2016. He doesn't need him to win in 2020. There's nothing they can offer. And that's why when you look over the last 2 years, everything that he's done for the benefit of America, fixing China, exposing the China threat. Just one example, the fentanyl. China was shipping tons of illegal opioids into this country. Some of it was coming legally, but hundreds of tons of this poison was coming into this country illegally. It was being smuggled in. And it's like, nobody could stop it. Nobody could do anything about it. We had something like, some sources say 100,000 Americans every year dying from opioid overdoses. But nobody could do anything about it. You had the Chinese setting up spying rings or universities all across this country, compromising people, stealing tech, stealing research. But nobody can really do anything about it. And I'll tell you one thing that I've researched the last three and a half years is how Trump has one by one, he shut down every single avenue that the communist CCP has been using to undermine, sabotage this country. So you remember, like, for the first 2 years of the Trump presidency, it was almost every other week you heard about some huge fentanyl shipment being seized somewhere. 500 pounds here, 300 pounds there. And, 2 milligrams of this stuff will kill you. You ever see what a fatal dose of fentanyl looks like? It's incredibly small. You know how easy it is to overdose on this stuff. It's incredibly easy. You could just go down the list of all the people that were lost to fentanyl. Just fentanyl. Prince, Tom Petty, right down the list. Heath Ledger. Okay, all these people had it. They were all taking opioids and they overdosed and they died. And Trump made that one of his first missions when he became president. He was going to shut down all the fentanyl and opioid smuggling that was going on in this country. And he pretty much done it. You don't hear about the huge seizures anymore. And then, starting a couple months ago, the arrest of the Harvard professor, Charles Lieber, that made the biggest splash. But did you know it's up to something like 30 top professors and academics and research people in these universities all across America have been arrested. I don't say that there are other investigations. No, they've been arrested for taking Chinese money, stealing research technology, other illegal activity. If you're being paid, you have to disclose that. And most people were taking Chinese money under the table and they weren't disclosing it. Lieber was doing that, something like $200,000 a year he was getting that he wasn't disclosing. So Trump and the DOJ started cracking down on that. But an ordinary politician to rise up through the ranks you got to raise the money. You got to promise the favor. You've got to let them get your hooks in. You have to make the promises. You have to take the money, and then you owe these people, the lobbyists, the corporation. You have to play ball. And this is why Trump is so radical. He didn't need to play ball with anybody. He didn't need these people to get elected. He doesn't need them to get reelected. So all the signs are coming together. Biden is not really running. He's going to hide in his basement. Now, I don't know about that rumor that he's going to be replaced. I don't know about that. A lot of people think he's going to be replaced. When he announces his vice presidential pick, that's going to be the person that will really run the show. Or he'll step down for health reasons. And the vice presidential pick will become, the front runner, and then they'll pick somebody. Hey, I don't hear anything. I don't know about that. I just know the way it looks right now, Biden is not running a real campaign. He thinks he can run a virtual max headroom presidential campaign from his basement in Delaware. That's not how it works. He won't be raising any real funds. He won't be getting out on the campaign trail. Won't be holding any rallies. And okay, in one way that's smart. Nobody be able to compare the Biden rallies with the Trump rallies. If Biden's not holding any rallies, how do you make a comparison? Well, that's one way to avoid the problem. Just stay home. But I've been saying for a while, you're going to see a presidential campaign here like nothing you've ever seen before. When Trump does these rallies, and while he's doing that, all the Spygate stuff is going to keep dropping. All the indictments, the investigations that Durham has been involved in, that now Jeffrey Jensen has been involved in, that John Bash is involved in, all these things. These are just the ones they went public with. There are other things they're doing that they haven't gone public with yet. A lot more of this stuff will be coming out in the next 4 months before the election. Just in the last week and a half, what did we learn? Well, we learned that Obama and Biden were both involved in the origin of that investigation to go after General Flynn for violating the Logan Act. When they were looking for an excuse to investigate this incoming NSA advisor to the president-elect, they were sitting around spitballing. According to Peter Strzok's notes, Biden was the guy who said, "Hey, how about the Logan Act? Let's use that. We can investigate him for violating the Logan Act, for doing his job, calling up the Russian ambassadors, which is what he's supposed to be doing." So we now have documentary evidence that was unsealed in the Flynn case that has both Obama and Biden present at the creation, so to speak, of the fake investigation and go after Flynn and find something to investigate him for, find something illegal that he did so they can get him fired and prosecuted. And that's exactly what they did. That was just in the last week and a half. There was more coming. Sidney Powell said, hey, she's being told there are more documents. This is one of the best things about Judge Sullivan deciding not to dismiss the case. Sidney Powell says as long as the case is open, as long as they don't dismiss it, if Jeffrey Jensen, the special investigator tapped by Attorney General Barr, if he's still looking in FBI headquarters. If he finds more documents, then he will be bringing her and the Flynn defense team those documents. And they'll get to unseal them just like they did last time. Everything this guy has found so far and given to the Flynn defense team has been explosive. I was starting all the way back in April 24th, when we started to see these documents where they're talking about how they can set this guy up. We need a pretext to investigate this guy. How can we go after him? How can we get him fired? And it totally changed the whole nature of the Flynn case. It led The new documents being uncovered by Jeffrey Jensen led to the Department of Justice filing to dismiss the case. And right now, we're just going through the motions right now. This case is dead. It's not going anywhere. Of course, lefty people are upset that Flynn isn't going to prison. Just like back 2 months ago. The thing they were upset about is just the guy wasn't going to do hard time. They were upset about that. They think Flynn should go to prison for years. Now imagine how they feel now that the truth came out. That he was set up, he was sprung. They had no reason to be investigating him. And now we find out Obama and Biden are both involved in this. And it's Biden himself that says, hey, I got a wonderful idea. What we could use as the pretext to investigate this guy. Let's claim he violated the Logan Act. How's that for a plot twist? I mean, I didn't see that coming. That the guy running for the Democratic nomination for president was going to do a pratfall right in the middle of the Flynn case at this point. But that's exactly what happened. So we live in exciting times. There are exciting things happening. Got a lot to look forward to this week. 4th of July is coming. We got to watch Trump at Mount Rushmore. And we get to watch the fireworks go off. And we get to watch the lefty trolls lose their mind. It's going to be fantastic. With nothing to worry about, Trump's got this. That red wave keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. The more they defund the police, the more they talk about attacking a police officer and assaulting the police officer from a felony to a misdemeanor. The more the more they talk about what they really plan to do for America, the bigger that red wave gets. The bigger the same people out there. The bigger the wave of same people who've woken up, the bigger it gets. Because the Democratic Party has lost its mind. I like to say they've gone stark raving bang at the moon in sound. It's been apparent for some time now, but they've sped up. I mean, the last couple of weeks it's really come out. Yeah. Oh, here's my hot take. Violent crime has exploded in New York City. It's getting really bad. Hundreds of people shot in the last couple of weeks. Here's my solution. Let's cut police funding by $1 billion. And the more these lunatics act like lunatics, the bigger the payback is going to be. And you'll see that in November. So that's our stream for tonight. Thank you for coming, all 39 of you. God bless you and good night.